Section 2 is activities, details. Okay. First, the location. We want to know where you want to do the lifting. Okay. For this purpose, you also need, if required, you also need to attach a layout. The layout, if your site or your plant got the full layout, you need to identify which location you want to do the lift. And it also can be attached together with this lifting certificate to the exact condition, the exact location for that lifting activity. Second one is the expected lift date. Why do we need this? And you see there, we got two column here. It should be from to, and normally it will be on this permit will be valid for 1 week, and it will depends on each procedures. But on my procedures for the lifting and the PTW, it is valid for 1 week. So expected lift date should be 7 days, not more than 7 days. Length of boom. So length of boom, when we talk about boom, you need to know what is boom. Alright. So here we've got a model of the crane. We will talk about boom. This is a boom. Boom. It can be extended. One boom. Okay, this is a boom, and this is length of boom. It will be measured from here to here, and it can be extended. So this is the length of boom. You can refer to the load chart. Every crane will come out with the load chart, and the load chart is inside the crane manual. And why do you need this is, you need to know that this boom, when you do the lifting, this boom cannot be extended when there is a load. It is an advice not to extend the boom while the load is at the block. So why? Because when there is a load and you push this boom outside, there is a certain pressure on this hydraulic pump, and it can cause a leak or burst to the hose, hydraulic hose. It will depends on type of crane. But normally for the mobile crane, which has a hydraulic boom, standard boom, it is not an advice. And that's why for every lift, they need to, before they lift up the load, they need to have a specific length. And just using this length, only one lifting length. And if they want to extend more, there shouldn't be any load. Second one is the radius. When we say about this, look at this figure. You can see this is a boom. The radius is from the center of the turntable to the wall, the block. That is the radius. Regardless whether it is beam is, this will be the radius. The only thing is, what is the maximum radius? This is boom angle. More boom angle is, the radius will be more. More boom angle, you mean the less radius. The less radius, the strong the load the crane can be lifted, the load can be lifted. With the same boom length. See? Higher, the more stronger. The less strong, the weaker. Mostly when if there is no lifting plan or at certain radius, this will be stronger, less strong. So this will be stronger, this will be less. weaker. Which can see some of the incident that happened when the crane toppled because of the boom length and the lifting radius is too small up until the load is large. That really depends on this lifting load chart. That's why that the document, one of the important information is the length, boom length here. It should be fixed. For the generic lifting, you just set it to be the maximum load. Maximum boom length. Okay. Using that, if it's small than the lifting boom length, the stronger it will be. Two things here: the smaller, stronger; smaller radius, stronger. Then radius. It is these two items, the length, the boom length, and the radius, is more angle, less radius, stronger. Less angle, more radius, weaker. Okay, simple analogy. Next is the description of lift. Description of lift. Okay, what are the things that we need for equipment? Or what kind of load here? And then block. Block, what we call block, is there's two types of block normally, the main block and the auxiliary block. The top of this block, this will be auxiliary block. This is block. This is the main block, which is bigger than the auxiliary block. Okay, when we say about the block over here, it can be changeable. Depends on the crane model. You have to look at the crane manual, know whether the main block can be changed or not. And this information you can get from the crane manual. Kind of block can be changeable. Okay, block. So the load here, the figure that you have to put here is what is the weight of that block, main block. Choker or sling. So sling normally, sling for the specific, it will depends on the type of lifting. If it is critical, you need to know what are the sling weight. Also need to put the figure here. Shackles. Shackle is part of the lifting accessories. Shackle, spreader bar. If you are using spreader bar, you know what is the spreader bar? Spreader bar is a lifting accessories. Load line. Load line is a lifeline. It's a lifeline. Load line is a guiding line. Normally it won't be much that heavy. Upper boom part. So this will be the attachment. Also can be considered as a leaf, as a jeep. Later on we go for the jeep. Pin extractor, if pin extractor quite big or can impact on the load. Normally this list will be not very significant to the total load, except for the main block and the jeep block, and jeep and also the ball block. Jeep is the extension for the boom, what we call jeep. For the mobile crane, it is at this the boom. There are a few types of jeep. There will be like fly jeep, call it fly jeep because it can be fly, can be turned. We sit here there is a Jeep, and there is a NB standard. And also, this is fly Jeep, and the type of Jeep is hydraulic. Okay. Or we can go to the much bigger crane, like a derrick crane. There is extension Jeep, main Jeep, or the crane that got this pendant, then got and this is what we call Jeep. Main block, Jeep, extension, pendant, so on. But this is what we call Jeep. Alright, so Jeep. And what do you know? Jeep is quite significant to the total load because it is quite heavy, depends on the crane. And it is an advisable the lifting, minimize using Jeep, except you want to have a bigger radius. But mostly just it is part of the planning not to use a Jeep. Can be used. We shouldn't say that it can't be used. It can be used, but to have less load and also for the longer for the radius. Ball. If we talk about ball, well, for the crane operators and also lifting supervisors, when we talk about ball, everyone already know that this is auxiliary block. Ball or auxiliary block. This is second. Another boom. Another block is it been attached to one single line wire rope for crane. Okay. Whip line same as a whip line is same as a guided line, and others if there is another accessory that been attached together with the load. And why we need this kind of information? Because we want to put together all the additional load to the load that we've been lifted. So from here we get the total what is the load here. So the unit we use here is a kg, it's a kilogram. Okay, total weight. And then the next information that we need to put inside this lifting certificate is the chart capacity at radius. Why do we need the chart capacity at radius? Because each lifting they got the specific load that can be carried. Radius, length. In load chart, we can identify what is safe load can be lifted at the specific radius and also boom length. That the load chart doesn't show the angle, just show the boom length and the radius. We got this. What is the rated safe load by referring to this load chart. And for the generic lifting, if you're using this lifting certificate, make sure you have a maximum boom length. At the maximum boom length, so that you can identify what is the maximum radius. From that maximum radius and the maximum boom length, you know what are the capacity at the radius. How many tons that can be lifted. Here is using the unit of weight of object to be lifted. So weight of the object to be lifted is the load, the load that you want to lift. How many tons? You can refer it to this drawing or any product specification for the load that you want to lift. And also if you are lifting any generic item like construction materials, a bucket of concrete, we have to do the estimation, the load estimation based on this volume. Plus rigging weight. Rigging weight is this total weight for the rigging. All these items we put into the rigging weight. Plus rigging weight and total lifting weight. So here is the total of weight object to be lifted and also plus rigging weight. Okay. Safety factor as per recommended by manufacturer. Normally it will depends on each organization procedures, but normally here we're going to put as a 75%, meaning safety factor is 75%. Right. Next is the percentage of crane capacity. Okay, as recommended by the manufacturer. The percentage of crane capacity as per recommended by manufacturer. If there is stated the recommended crane chart capacity. From the load chart, you can get the figure, the specific radius, A 5 meters, length, A meters. You can get this over here. This is the safe load to be lifted. You want to lift it like this, this load will be 100%. But let's say here it can be lift 4 tons. Based on the crane manufacturer, you cannot lift more than 75% from this pattern. Meaning 30 times 25% is 25% of 3.75. That will be the safety. But if you want to put into the chart to this lifting certificate, you have to put here chart capacity at radius based on the load chart, weight object to be lifted based on the drawing, plus rigging weight, total lift, safety factor normally 75%. You cannot lift more than 75%, otherwise it's going to be a critical lifting. You can lift, but it's going to be a critical lifting. A specific inspection need to be done on the lifting accessories and lifting equipment. Later on, we talk about this lifting, but I'm just going to explain on this generic lift. The percent of chart capacity that will be depends on the load chart and also the load. If the load is 3.75, if the load is 3.75 ton and the capacity is the load here is 3.75 ton. Based on the load chart, it can be lift up to 4 ton. So the safety factor will be 3.75 over 4, about 75% of it. So the safe load that can be lifted based on this radius, this must be less than 3.75. It cannot be more than that. Otherwise, it's going to be more than 75%. So nak grab dia ni, except we will do some exercise on how to calculate this with that specific at the crane based on the load chart. Right, safety factor percentage of chart capacity, that will be on this calculation. We need to calculate this total weight over the chart capacity at radius. Weight over this, then you get about times 100%, then you get this percentage of chart capacity. Numbers of parts of line. Okay, what is numbers of parts of line? You talk to crane operator, they will know what do you mean by parts. online. Okay. For the main block, normally for the main block, there is a pulley inside there. But block. Okay. This is what we call part of fall. You can call it fall. How many lines falling from the tree. So this it will be like this, down, up, and go up, back, center of the pulley, go up there and be down there, second groove, bring this kind of arrangement. Very convenient. So how many lines? 1, 2, 4. Four part of line. What does it mean by this number of part of line? How many parts? How many line? Okay. And then rated capacity per part of line. This one you need to refer to your crane manual, because each crane manual is going to come up with the specification for the wire line, wire rope. This wire rope will depends on the size, on the detail. There will be on the different section. How to identify, how do you want to estimate what is the rated capacity of each line based on the size, based on the material. Okay. But here, for this information, you can get it from the crane manual. Actual load per parts, you have to divide the weight, load. You got 4 parts, divide over 4. Got 5 parts or 5 line, 5 drop, divide over 5. So we know how many load per part, per form. Here, lift up to 4 ton. So 4 ton. So each line got 4 line, 4 over 4 be 1 ton per line. That is what has been here. Because we want to know whether the load, there is some condition that based on the load chart, it can be lift, it's safe to lift, but when we put it into the assessment on each fall, it's more than the capacity of each fall. And that's why there is a certain load. You need to identify how many parts or how many falls, how many parts of line that you have to set for that. Not all you can use for line. Mostly most assessment for line can be accommodated, but you have to refer to the load chart and crane manual. Okay, rated capacity per line. Actual load per line. Okay, from that total load, you have to divide the number of part, and then you know what is the actual part per line. Is it more than this rated capacity each line?